Well, let's start off with saying hey to
Oh,
everyone.
okay, so this is different. It's
Very.
different. Uh, this is our minimum effort podcast.
Yes. Our
Minimum.
first one.
And are you cool? I didn't even ask you. Are you cool with doing a podcast? I
I'm
just,
here
I
now.
was just like, oh yeah, I did ask you.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, we doing this podcast?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous.
What you nervous about?
Um, I just don't want us to be perceived as like this perfect couple or a lot of times when people start talking about their relationships openly with like social media, then that causes problems in between the relationship. So I don't want that to happen. So I'm fearful about that. But I also am excited about like telling our truth, and if it helps someone, it helps someone. So yeah. Should we put the mics in the middle so we're like talking to each other instead of like to
Well,
the
I
mic?
I kind of didn't want to like cross over to
Oh, is that what it'll do?
yeah,
Okay.
but I want to turn it up like louder.
Okay. I cannot stand the smell of that liquor.
At all.
I mean, it's very sweet and it smells sticky.
It do smell sticky. All right, so I think I turned up the mic so we can like talk a little bit up louder.
Okay.
You know what
Okay.
I mean? So what did you say?
What? I said my fear is that we come across
Okay.
as like a perfect couple.
Yeah. Facts. But I think podcasts kind of like it kind of like unravel that stuff.
Exposes.
Yeah.
But then
Be,
that's what I'm scared of too.
like what? What you got something to hide?
No, I mean, but I don't want to be looked at negatively, or I don't want you to be looked at negatively. And it's like we're kind of like putting ourselves out there for people to judge.
I know.
So
Yeah,
that's kind of
and
nerve
that's
wracking.
all. You know what? That's crazy because that's always been my thing. I didn't want people in my relationship, people in my business. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
I'll move this closer for me.
Okay.
But what's crazy about it is you're the person who likes all that YouTube stuff.
Yes, I do. And I like following people who like
Why?
handle social media very well. Like
But it's like, yo,
it's
this is your
interesting.
thing.
I know, but just because I like to watch it doesn't mean I can do it well. Like that's just what I'm like. I like as entertainment. But
And you know you don't have to look at the camera. You're just talking to
I am talking to the camera. Hi, guys.
because this will also be on like Spotify too.
Okay. But my mic is over here, so I kind of glance. And I like to make sure it's like recording and stuff.
Oh yeah, cool.
Okay.
But I get that. But at the same time, it's like what makes me cringe is the fact that Instagram is just a highlight reel. No pun intended. It's reels. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So the reels make it look the way that you don't want it to look. You know what I mean?
Okay, wait. The reels
Yeah.
make it look like I don't want it to look.
Yeah, the
Which is,
reels make it look perfect because they're nothing
oh,
but highlights.
yeah.
So I feel like podcasts would be like more in depth so you can see like kind of like the bones in it.
Yeah. Yeah. But, okay, everybody's doing a podcast.
Everybody's on a podcast.
And it's like, what Why us? Why?
Well, I okay. So what I thought when I thought about it, I was thinking back to when we was dating
Mm-hmm.
and we was long distance and we was going through like trying to figure each other out because
Mm-hmm.
we knew it was something there, but we were like two different, totally different people,
Yeah.
and our whole goal was to be a testimony for other people.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah. I do remember that. Yeah.
So I feel like things are coming back around full circle.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like? Does that? Do you remember? Does that like feel like?
Yeah, I do. I remember that. I didn't think it was gonna. We were gonna start this
Yeah.
soon because we're only like we just had our second anniversary.
Yeah, but we've been together since 2017.
But I mean we've been together, but longer. However, we're only 2 years into our marriage, so it's like, what do we know more than the other person?
And it's not, and that's one thing I fear too. I don't want. Oh my gosh, when people get married, they feel like they're like a guru.
Yeah, yeah. I have arrived.
They feel like they're like the straight guru of
Yes.
mastering dating.
Yeah, relationships and all that. Yeah.
But I do feel like when you make it past that dating stage, you might could have some pointers and tips or whatever. And even when you make it in this stage, it's like when you go from 12th grade to college.
Mhm.
It's like you only a freshman,
Yeah.
but you got some tips for people in 12th grade.
Yeah. Right. And that's what I was gonna say. I was like, it kind of doesn't matter how long you've been in it. Like we can share our testimony and tell someone who has not made it to 2 years yet, or someone who is in the fiance stage, like our, I don't want to say tips and tricks, but our experiences, our
and,
advice.
And the only thing what I tell people, I was like, yo, right when it comes to relationships, I feel like some things I can only tell you my business. I can't really tell you what is wisdom. You know what I mean? When it comes to, I would say, marriage, I can only tell you my business. I can't really tell you the wisdom of it. But at the same time, I've never treated marriage and dating like they were two different things. I did, but I didn't, because it was nothing that I really didn't do in the dating stage that I like do now, except like I probably pay bills now. You know what I mean?
I think there's a difference. I think
what didn't I do before that I
we
do
were not
now?
we were not living together, so we didn't experience like we experienced.
But even when I came by to see you, like came on the weekends and you was at work, I would wash your clothes and stuff.
Still not the same.
So what didn't I do that I'm doing now? Besides like finances.
Well, I guess it's not what you do, but it's, I think the difference is like you're with that person 24/7 rather than you're taking in doses of that person. So we had to learn how to live together and work as a team. Whereas when you came over and did those things, that was nice, you know, and then you would go. And then I would be by myself and have my time. And you would have your time. So I think it's just different in that type of sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, definitely living with somebody is a lot different than just going over somebody's house.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who live with the person they're dating. Well, not
Oh,
dating, but live
yeah.
with the person they're in a relationship with.
That's true. I don't know. I still feel like it's a different type of commitment that you sign on to when you say marriage compared to what we're dating.
Yeah. So I feel like marriage today, people are more conscious of. Okay, so you ever hear people talk about, yo, grandma and grandpa hated each other. They just stayed in a marriage because they were married.
Mm-hmm.
And then you
Or
hear
for the
people talk
kids.
about, yeah, and then you hear people talk about um, why were the older couples staying together? Why did marriage last with them and it's not lasting with us?
Mm-hmm.
And I think us now, how the world is, we know we don't have to put up with things. So I feel like marriage isn't as what's the word, concrete as
Mm-hmm.
it seems before.
Oh yeah, I think that has changed definitely.
Because
We're a bunch of quitters. No, but I mean we're quick to just be like we're done, and that's not always a good attribute to have.
and you know what make it worse?
What?
Social media make you think you got bitches.
Make you feel
Make you feel like you got bitches. Like, yo, you see all these bitches liking my shit? Yo,
You're feeling
treasure yourself.
Sit
Yo,
down.
be humble. Because I can go.
Yeah, give you that little bit of confidence, and then once you out there, it be ghost.
6
Crickets.
missed calls.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm. But yeah, social media does have a large effect on it too, because it's like it's the grass is greener effect. Like what they have looks more.
Mm-hmm.
The way he's treating her, I want.
Right.
So yeah, that is a huge impact.
And here's just like a perfect example. I have I had my the overalls that you made for me,
Mm-hmm.
the jean overalls. My friend was like, she was like, yo, I'm glad you stopped wearing those because you was rocking those. You was wearing those out. I'm like, bruh, I actually didn't wear it often, but when I did, it was posted on Instagram. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like if I wore it like twice out 30 days,
Mm-hmm.
and twice was posted on Instagram.
Yeah. You think, oh, he wear that all the time.
So even with the relationship stuff, it's like if I post what I do or whatever, and it's been like maybe like 20 days between like window maximum minimum ever videos, they be like, oh, he do it all the time. Yeah. I'm not saying I'd be like slacking, but it's like, yo. No, it'd be like, it's the highlight reel.
Yeah. So I guess this is
intro.
Yeah, this is our intro as to, I guess, why we are doing this. We don't want to be that couple that feels like we're perfect. We did from the very beginning. We wanted to be a testimony to other couples. So this is just to get a more in-depth look at our relationship, and hopefully what we share helps you and encourages you, and lets you know that you're not alone. So okay.
And I wanted, and
should we say our names?
Oh,
we haven't even said our names. Hi.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm Taylor.
And I'm Chris. Sean, sorry.
Well, we go by Chris, but yeah.
And this is the Minimum Effort Podcast.
Is that our title?
For the podcast?
Yeah.
You mean when I said it's the minimum effort podcast?
You're naming the whole thing?
The whole thing, minimum effort podcast.
Why minimum?
Because girls hate minimum. People hate minimum. Guys hate minimum effort.
Guys hate minimum effort?
You think we like minimum effort?
Doing minimum effort? Like people putting
Receiving
in
minimum effort.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that. We didn't talk about that.
No, we didn't. Okay. But I just said it, so it's forever.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, minimum. I was gonna name it like maximum minimum effort podcast, but I feel like that's a lot. And what I think I want us to focus on too is the minimum effort. Minimum effort could mean so many things. Like when I said the maximum minimum effort, it's like you're doing a little bit, but the amount of effort in that little bit counts.
Okay.
And I feel like people have to recognize what is effort as well. And relationships have to put in a lot of effort.
Yeah, that's why I'm like minimal. Why are we naming it minimal effort? Because there's no minimum effort that'll make a relationship last.
Because out of those 30 days and those 2 posts of maximum effort, you gotta do minimum stuff in between to the 28 days.
Okay. All right.
So you want to start off? Okay, before we met, what space was you in?
Okay. So yeah.
What year was it?
Oh, I don't know dates.
Okay.
But before I met Chris, I was like in and out of like flings. Do they call them flings? Sneaky links.
You're like the age group of this podcast is just dropping now. I mean, going. If there was a 17-year-old listen, he just turned it off. He just turned it off. Thanks.
I try to be so cool.
Go ahead.
But anyway. So I was I was doing a lot of promiscuous stuff, and I was out in these streets. And you might think, oh my gosh, not
oh my
Taylor.
gosh, Chris done brought her home, cleaned her up.
I wasn't that bad. Well,
turned the hoe into a houseway.
I thought I was that bad, and I was in a space where I just didn't care. What?
Yo, I know.
What?
Yo, when you told me,
Chris, can you say
when
it?
you told me that you was like, yo, basically you was like, yo, I've been doing dicks. I've been out here.
Okay.
But then when you actually like told me what was going on.
Was I telling the truth?
I think so. I don't know.
What did I tell you?
You told me that like, yo, you was like, I slept with like 3 guys or something like that.
In a day. That's not hoish.
No,
in a day.
Actually, you told me 2 guys in a day.
So no. It was like 3.
This is the podcast.
Yeah. So it was like 3 dick appointments in a day.
I was going to say, if I had 3 appointments in a day, that would be fire.
So I was just, and I don't know why. I really can't even tell you like why I was in this space. Like nothing traumatic happened to me where I went. I don't know.
You live in your whole phase.
Yeah, and I feel like everybody has one.
I did it.
Lies. But so yeah, I was out. I was just exiting out of my whole phase because I was just like,
be real. I pulled you up out the mud.
Stop
I
it.
dusted you off.
Stop it. No.
Aaliyah,
so I had
off and try again.
before we met, I had this ring on my finger because me and my sister was like, okay, we got to get ourselves together because this is too much. We doing the absolute most.
Dicks too?
Yeah.
Damn, the whole fam
Shut
man was
up.
out here.
So she had actually started her journey before I did, and so she was like, I went out, bought myself a ring just to remind myself, like, okay, I'm on this journey, I'm trying to get it together and be abstinent. Is that the term?
Yeah,
Or celibate?
absolutely.
Abstinent. So anyway, so I wore this ring and I was like, okay, I'm on my journey, and I haven't had any in like maybe 3 months or something. I don't know. I was 3 months sober, and that's when I met Chris. Where was you at before you met me?
Before I met you, I'm gonna say, so we met in 2000 March 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Before I met you, I was living in my brother's basement.
Mm-hmm.
I just moved from Cleveland to Columbus,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in. Okay, first of all, when I moved to Columbus, I like. I didn't. Essentially, I had no hoes. I had to get my roster up. Essentially.
Okay.
So, I was in the space of like healing, honestly,
Okay. Healing from what?
from women and healing from deaths.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, and then also healing from that traumatic experience of graduating college thinking you about to be
Mm-hmm.
big time, and
Yeah.
it's not like that. So figuring out what the real world is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. So I'm in this whole healing process, and like, yeah, it's really different from yours. So
I was healing.
Healing the day. So yeah, so I'm like getting closer to God and trying. I went through like not believing in God to believing in God again, and then just being deep into my Bible, and then just like kind of reflecting, and then also um I'm learning to let go of like past relationships or past like people I dated, and not project onto the next person.
Mm.
That's what I was really learning, because I was super bitter.
Okay. I didn't really have like I didn't know how I was going to heal. I didn't say this, but I did. I was in a relationship with a guy who ended up, I mean, not cheating, but he definitely crossed some lines. And we ended up breaking up, and so it was after a relationship with him that I was like, all right, so I'm gonna get my whole phase in, and then I'm gonna stop. But I didn't know what that journey looked like or what I needed to do to heal from those things. I was just like, I want to do it, so I'm gonna buy a ring and put it on my finger and say, okay, this is it. I'm not gonna have sex anymore. So, when I met you, we engaged. Not the first night.
Okay, so when you met you, so she wasn't supposed to meet. You wasn't supposed to meet.
Right. So a friend had told me that he had someone for me. And he was like, "It's a really nice guy." Showed me his picture. I went through his little Facebook or Instagram, and I was like, "Okay, I'm feeling him. He's cute." And so he was like, "Well, we're all gonna go bowling tomorrow, and he's gonna come." And I was like, "Oh, cool." So I get to meet him. So I dressed up, got all cute, and came out to the bowling alley. Didn't show up. And so I was like, "All right. I mean, I'm just gonna have fun anyway."
Now in the middle of that, I like the month before, a couple weeks before, I just got like fired from my job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a week before I got fired from my job, and I just bought a car too at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when my guy hit me like, "Yo, what you doing this weekend?" I'm like, "Nothing. I'm fired."
Free time.
Yeah. So he was like, "Come to Indiana." I'm like, "Okay." I looked to see how long the drive was. I'm like, "Yeah, I can do that." So that's when I actually went for a job interview that Friday, and then after my interview, I drove down there.
Okay.
And then that's when we pre-gamed a little bit, and then went to the bowling alley.
Yeah. So at the bowling alley, the friend tells me, "Hey, he's not gonna come."
Oh yeah, I forgot he did send me a picture of you.
Before?
Yeah, he was like, "Yo, I got this girl that's gonna be there." I'm like, "All right, man," because I'm like, "Yo," because we typically never have the same taste.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, "All right."
He was playing damage control.
He said, "No, she cute." Ooh. I'm like, "All right." He sent me your Facebook. I'm like,
Stop! I was cute.
Send me the Facebook, and then like you like your drawer was private, so you only had certain photos up there. So he sent me your Facebook, and I'm like, I said, "Bro, I'm just there to have a good time. I'm just there to have a good time." I'm like, yo, that forehead is on 10. I'm like, she not ugly. Well, she's not ugly, but, you know, like, it is what it is.
Whatever.
So I got there, and and he told you what?
He told me that the guy didn't end up coming. And I was like, "Oh, okay, it's okay." And so he was like, "But I got another friend for you that I want you to meet." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And so before he told me that, though, I had already, like, we had already spoken because we were, like, getting our shoes and stuff like that. And you were just asking questions, or you were interacting with me, but I didn't know who you were.
I was interacting with everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, yeah. Oh, yeah. So when I saw her walk through, when I saw you walk through the door, I was like, damn. I'm like, that's a woman. Facts. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, she is not photogenic.
And I'm not. And I'm not.
And I'm like, wow. And honestly, on Afghanistan, I felt a little intimidated.
That's interesting.
I did feel a little intimidated because I'm like, yo, she look motherfucking 30 already. She walked, yeah.
I cannot.
For real. I'm like, all right. So this is her. I'm like, cool.
So we did have a good time at bowling, and then we went back to our friend's house and we played some games, and some activities went down that night.
I asked a homie, so this is the homie. I'm like, yo, that's your room, right? He was like, yeah. I'm like, ask your wife if that's okay. I wasn't going to do nothing in their bed.
I was about to say, I would not have climbed in their bed.
No, I wasn't going to do nothing in their bed. I got a little bit more class than that.
Okay.
But I'm like, yo. And we was drinking too.
Yeah,
so I like grabbed her hand and like pulled her into the room. I'm like, come here. She was like, what? Hey, dude, knowing what she was doing. Knowing what she was doing. And we messed around in the room.
Yeah.
First night we met.
We didn't actually have sex, but we did do other things. And that night, what did you say to me?
Oh, word. So, yo, it's so crazy. So we was drunk.
Yes.
But what they say, a drunk man tells no tales.
Yeah.
So that night, like after we got done messing around, I'm like, cause for real, like I was really like, I admire like the spur of the moment type joint.
Yeah.
I admire, like, yo, I'm going to do what I want to do just because this is how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were both single, too. So I was like, yo, if we wanted to do it. Like,
Yeah.
So I admire that. So I told her, I'm like, yo, I'm going to marry you. I'm like, yo, I'm going to marry you. Yo, the power of the tongue.
Okay.
Watch it.
Okay.
Wow. I'm like, I'm going to marry you.
Yeah.
And she just kept laughing. And I'm just,
yeah. So, I mean, afterwards, we did have like a really good conversation. I just remember us talking about pretty much everything. Well, I mean, a lot on the first night. And I was just like, I felt comfortable. But in the back of my head, you know, I got my little ring on. I'm like, damn it, Taylor, you like going back.
But ain't that how it go? Like, guys, like, soon as you meet a chick who's been like busting it open for years, soon as you meet her, she was like, yo, the bus stops here. Okay. Like, what?
I'm
like,
trying to,
bro,
what do we say? What do we say? Like, I'm trying to be, what do we say?
What?
Like, what is like the most common term when we're like,
oh, this is what girls will say when they, after they get done busting it open crazy for some months and years, they say, you know what, I'm just focused on me and God.
I'm focusing on me.
I'm just focused on me.
I was focusing on me. So really, I was just like, damn, like, Taylor, like, you just did what you didn't want to do again, and you're about to fall in this trend. So,
I'm like, yo, you shouldn't be so hard on yourself. You was dealing with
Anyway, I'm not even gonna let you get it out. But I left. You passed out on the couch.
I didn't pass out. I went to sleep.
Passed out.
I went to sleep.
And I just left. I was like, okay, so he sleep. I just left and went home. And
mind you, this is like 4. Was it like 4? No.
Yeah, I mean, it was early in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, it's time for me to go, and I didn't really know our friends like that too well to like spend the night. I just wanted to go home. So, and I wasn't far from home, so I just went home, and I had no intentions of meeting up with you.
Cap.
Seeing you again. I was like, after I messed up.
Captain America.
No, I'm serious. Are you serious right now?
Captain America.
Tell the people how you got my number, because I didn't leave you my number.
I asked our friend for your number.
Exactly. And I did not even consent to it.
You ain't consent to it?
No. She told me, she's like, hey, I hope you don't mind. I gave your number to Chris.
So you think I graped your number?
Huh?
I graped your number?
What does that mean?
It's so you won't say the actual word. You say grape without the G.
Oh. No, I don't know. I don't know how you got my number. I didn't
consent to that.
I didn't say, hey, give Chris my number. Like, I forgot to give him my number. I was just like, my plan.
All right, we're going to have her on the podcast soon, so we're going to
okay, we'll see. But my plan was honestly to just be like, okay, that night is done. You have fun, move on. Back on the straight and narrow.
Put my ring back on.
Right. Let me pop my ring. But yeah, so
ring is gone.
Then the next day, you kind of
Oh, so I think so the next day cause I was there for a couple days, cause I was fired. I didn't have anything to do. I had about $500 to my name. And I told Kristen to like, yo, invite them over again. Them. So it won't like seem like it's just invite them over.
Did we hang out again?
Yeah, and we played like the dice game or whatever the next day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we was all like hugged up on the table and whatnot.
Yeah, I do remember that. I thought that was actually the first night. No, but I think you're right. That was the second night. Yeah.
Because after that, I drove you to your crib and you had to like get your laundry from somebody from like Eric House or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I probably did. Yep. Because at the time, at my place,
You rode
I
with
didn't have her.
Eric. You rode with Eric, and I
Yeah.
drove you back home.
Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, you got a good memory because I didn't remember all that. But yeah, so the second night, we didn't do anything on the first night. We did do
Second night, I cracked cheeks.
yes, so the second night, that's when it went down.
In prime Krishan fashion.
Oh my gosh.
Cracked cheeks.
So yeah, so that's the story about how we met.
Yeah, I went back to her apartment, which I eventually ended up moving into, like, 2 years later.
Yeah. That was when I lived in Castleton?
Yeah, same. That's,
okay.
You got the roommate.
Well, I had my roommate a little bit for my first apartment, too, but that was my second apartment.
But yeah, that's the only place I knew.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's crazy. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, that's the story about how we met.
Not picture perfect. It wasn't a picture perfect.
No, it was more like
It was more like,
I kind of get, I don't want to say embarrassed, but it's not like a fantasy story that everybody expects, I guess. Like, how did you guys meet? Oh, so
busted that thing open. I caught witness to it. Capitalized. Struck while the iron was hot.
No, but a lot of people thought that we met through like a dating site, which there's nothing wrong.
That's what happens, though. There's nothing wrong with it, but that's just common now.
Yeah. So I was like, no, we didn't meet on a dating site, but we did. I mean, we met through a mutual friend, and that's why I leave it. Like, mutual friend.
I mean, but that's really what happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we just use that. Well, doing this podcast just to say, like, yo, we are definitely not perfect.
Yeah.
At all.
I think around that time, I felt like if you wanted somebody to, like, if you wanted a husband, you shouldn't put out before, like, you shouldn't put out before y'all are, like, deeply invested in each other. Like, if you give it up too soon, then that's not gonna be your husband. Like, that is not it.
Oh yeah. We gonna talk about all the games she was playing too. We're gonna talk about all them games.
I don't think it was games, but I think that was just my upbringing, and that's how I was taught. It was.
So, bust it open for everybody except the guy you think that's your husband.
No.
What?
No. Honestly, like, the people that I had sex with, like, randomly, I knew nothing was gonna come from that. Like, I wasn't expecting husband or I knew they weren't going to be husband material. So it was just like, it was a fuck. It was a fling.
So why isn't the person who's the most worthy?
But I didn't know that at the time, babe. I thought
Yeah, but when you start to know, you start to dial back.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Because, wait, listen. But I started to dial back because I was like, because in my brain, you're treating this as a fling. You're not treating this as, oh, I'm working towards being committed to this person or even married to this person. So I need to dial back and I need to start acting like,
which is what made it so hard. No.
I mean, I think sex confuses things anyway. I think adding sex to the mix,
But we were in a relationship.
No, okay. Wait a minute.
We what?
Wait a minute. When we were like living in two different places, we were like open or talking or
Okay, hold
babe,
up.
babe.
Hold up. So we were open. We didn't actually make it official until that July when we came down, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know the dates.
Well, remember when you came down in July for July
For
4th or
okay,
whatever?
and made you food and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. We didn't really make it, and that's what we like stamped because we don't really have a date, so we
Yeah.
stamped like that month.
Was it July?
It was July. You came down for July 4th.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
And we had the hotel.
yeah.
Okay, okay, I remember that.
So we don't have an actual, and we didn't have an actual anniversary date. So we just said, okay, the month of July.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember that. Yes.
So,
But before then.
but after then, we had those problems too.
After after we became
What?
official, we had those problems.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, because I felt like I shouldn't be treating this as a fling if I'm like with you.
And I'm like, yo, let me go back. Let me dump you just so I can get some butt.
See, you were just thinking about ass.
No, I wasn't just thinking about ass because I made you my girlfriend. But I'm like, yo.
But okay, wait.
Yo, check it out. It's like, yo, if they say, yo, you get the combo meal, you get all this stuff, but you don't get a drink. I'm like, so what do I get when I just like order all this shit like separately? He said, do I get a drink then? Yeah, you get a drink. I'm like, so can I just order all this stuff separately? What's the point of the combo meal?
So okay, and that's the same with just marriage and dating. It's like if you're getting the combo meal with a drink before you're married, what's the point of being married if you're already getting those things? And that was my mindset. Like if I'm giving him everything before we even talked about marriage, I don't even think we were like talking about marriage.
And that's why I was like really vocal, like, yo, this is important to me in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Sex is important to me in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And for us to start off like that and then dial all the way back, I'm like, yo, she done flipped a script on me. I'm like, what?
It's like when girls are all dolled up and you have sex with them and they take off their wig.
And then they take off their leg, they take off their ear. I'm like, what? I'm like, yo. And then I was like, yo, I really felt tricked. For real, I felt tricked. I'm like, yo.
Where's the other girl?
I'm like, she just used sex to get me and then stopped.
No, I mean, honestly, that I see where you're coming from, and I understood where you were coming from, but at the same time, I was fighting that how I was raised versus what I'm doing, and yes, I wanted to please you, but at the same time, I was like, why would I give you all of this, and what would it, I guess not entice you, but that sounds bad, but what is going to make you want to marry me if you're already getting it?
And I think that's the problem with, sorry to say it, a lot of women today. They want to be a need for a guy. They want to be this. They want to be a need. Mm-hmm. So it's like when you said, if you're getting all this, what makes you want to marry me?
Mm-hmm.
If I want you, I want you. That's it. If I'm going to marry you, I'm going to marry you because I want you, not because I need you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So why wouldn't that make me want you on top of all the other reasons why I actually decided to make you my girlfriend?
But you have me. Like, so.
But I think you need to know who you dating too. Like, yo, do this person want to get married? I think that's the discussion we already had though.
Yeah, and you were a little iffy about marriage.
No. I knew I wanted to get married. I just did not see the point of it.
Which scared me.
I can see that.
I'm like, well, okay. Like, what do I do with that?
Yeah, but it's honestly, it's more. I feel like it's a lot more spiritual than it is anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But because if I wasn't a Christian and spiritual, I wouldn't get married.
Yeah.
What would be the point?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I didn't see the point. I didn't get it. And I didn't get the part of the Bible where it said, like, yo, you find a wife, you find a good thing. And I'm like, why? What's so good about her? Like, and then I was also in the mindset is like, yo, like, you're not providing anything that I don't already have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's the mindset I had to come out of.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't need you.
Right.
I don't need you.
Right.
So I thought that I had to need you. Just like women think that, yo, I need to be this person he needs.
Right.
And I thought I had to need you. And I'm like, yo, I'm really self-sufficient.
Yeah. Yeah.
So until you show, but it's like, what can you show somebody who's like whole, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was when it switched for me. It's like, okay, I don't need her. I want her.
Mm-hmm.
And that made, like, changed everything.
Yeah. Yeah. When we first met, did you know that I was going to be your wife? I mean, not first met, but like, let's say after we decided we were a couple, did you know that that you wanted me as your wife, or did that take time?
The farthest I saw was bringing you to holidays, dinners, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was really hard to see the marriage stuff because of what we was dealing with the sex and us where we wanted to live and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I didn't see all the way, but at the same time, I was single for like 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I had someone I was like, really serious with, but it was never official.
Mm-hmm.
So I was single for a really, really long time. So the fact that I actually made you my girl, I felt like that meant a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I didn't know that you were my husband when we were like long distance.
Yeah, I know you didn't know.
But you didn't either.
But I know you didn't know.
We both didn't know. And so, oh goodness, I'm sorry. Well, I said that to say, yeah, it took me a little longer to know. I see people all the time say, I knew from the moment I saw her that was my wife or that was my husband, and it wasn't like that for me. Mm-mm. It took some time, and I wouldn't say I would change it, but the moment I knew that you were my husband was when we, like, during one of our rockiest times. Mm-hmm. And I think we should discuss that, like,
yeah, we should discuss
for a different podcast, but
yeah, we're going to do that on the next podcast.
The next one?
Yeah.
You're jumping right in there? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, so, but yeah, it took a little while. So the stereotypical, oh, love at first sight, and I just knew, and God told me, and none of that. None of that. God didn't tell me nothing.
But I did. But you remember, I was saying like before I met you, I was like really getting closer to God and stuff like that. I did because I was like doing all that healing. I was like, yo, do not. The next girl I make my girlfriend, please just let that be my wife.
Yeah.
I did pray that.
Yeah, and actually, which is really crazy, we had mutual prayers, which that was your prayer, and then mine was like, the next one, I want it to be my last. Like, I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah, that's the words I use, my last.
Yeah, so I think, but it wasn't going how I envisioned, so I was like, oh no, he's not it, you know. But power of the tongue, power of prayer. Little did we know this was going to be our life.
Right.
But here we are.
Podcasting.
Yeah.
Minimum effort.
Oh gosh. Maximum minimum effort.
Yeah.
But oh, go ahead, babe.
No, I was just about to close it out.
Okay, yeah.
You want to close it out?
Nope.
No, do you know how to do the subscribe bell type stuff?
Oh, I actually don't know how it works with the podcast though. Is it the same way?
I mean, if you're watching on YouTube.
Oh, this is going on YouTube? See, okay. One thing about me, I'm not technology savvy at all. I do watch YouTube a lot, but not necessarily podcasts. So I'm really new to the podcast game. But if you're watching
on YouTube,
you subscribe, like, and hit the bell for notifications. I know that for sure. Okay, so that will help us a lot. And then share it with somebody who you think, oh, this is interesting.
Who has this Disney princess relationship? How things should be when you get your husband wife type drunk in their mind. Make sure you kill that.
That is true. We didn't touch on that. I was very.
Oh my god.
People could probably already tell by the stories that I was just like, I was very fairy tale. Fairy tale driven. Yeah.
Sprinkles on that.
I wanted the Disney Plus experience.
Right.
I did not.
Right. It only had Netflix money. Before the price jumped.
So, yeah.
And if you're listening on Spotify, because I think we're going to put this on Spotify.
Nice.
I don't know how it goes on Spotify, but do whatever it does to make you come back to me.
Yeah, right. Okay. And we will do our research as well.
Yeah, I'll figure it out by the time I upload this.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, so YouTube and Spotify, anything else we gonna put it on?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I'll find out other stuff to put it on. Okay. But follow me on Instagram.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say don't follow me.
Follow me on Instagram at Krishan_official and TikTok Krishan_official. Yeah.
And then if you see
me, you gonna see her.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you can follow, but I'm just not. It's not interesting over here. Pretty much what he posts on his page is on my page. So yeah, you'll take that. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
Zippity doo dah.
Okay. Did we want to end with something?
Or what?
Like a little I don't know.
Prayer?
No. Just like a little maybe. Oh, I don't know. We'll format it more.
Did you not hear me say zippity doo dah?
Okay, zippity doo dah. All right. Bye.
Bye now.